All right, ready for another deep dive?
Always.
Today, we're going behind the scenes at Tim Bloom Construction, Inc.
Hmm.
We've got a ton of meeting recordings
Oh,
and
wow.
internal documents.
Really?
Yeah, giving us a peek into how they operate.
That's great.
It's kind of
Like what?
like being a fly on the wall, you know?
I get it.
We're going to see their operations, their struggles,
Mm-hmm.
their wins, and their plans for the future.
So, like, the real deal.
Exactly, the unfiltered version,
Interesting.
not the polished press release stuff.
That's what makes these deep dives so valuable.
Right, you get the raw truth.
Yeah.
So, a little background on Tim Bloom Construction.
Okay.
They're celebrating their 25th anniversary this year.
Wow, that's a long time.
Yeah, it's a family-run business,
Nice.
specializing in site preparation, excavation, trucking.
All the essential construction services.
You got it.
And they're mostly in the Pacific Northwest.
Primarily Oregon, from what we've seen.
Gotcha.
But they have hit a bit of a rough patch financially.
Oh,
Yeah, it's mentioned in some of the meeting recordings.
interesting.
What's striking is how they're dealing with it.
How so?
They're diving deep into their data, exploring new marketing avenues.
Okay.
They're even looking at expanding.
Despite the financial troubles.
Seems like they see it as a way to overcome those challenges.
Bold move.
For example, they're analyzing their average selling price, or ASP.
ASP.
Yeah, they want to see which clients bring in the most value.
Makes sense.
They're even debating whether to analyze 12 or 15 months of data.
Trying to figure out the right time frame for accurate insights.
Exactly.
It's pretty data-driven, isn't it?
Right. You wouldn't expect that in construction.
Yeah. It's usually seen as more hands-on.
But they're using data to understand their clients better.
And to make strategic decisions.
Yep. Like who to focus on to maximize profits?
Smart.
Now, their trucking services are a whole other story.
What about them?
They use it for direct revenue, but also as leverage for construction contracts.
How does that work?
They offer competitive trucking rates to win construction bids.
Ah, I see.
But they're realizing they might need to separate those costs out
Why is that?
to get a clearer picture of their profitability.
So it's like a bundled service.
Yeah, and they need to see if it's actually profitable on its own.
Makes sense. Got to track those numbers.
Exactly.
This trucking situation reminds me of their recycling initiative.
Oh, yeah, at the rock pit.
That's the one.
What do you think about that?
It's ingenious, turning stream material into usable rock.
And at a lower cost, too.
Shows their resourcefulness and commitment to cost efficiency.
Couldn't agree more.
It's thinking outside the box.
Essential in today's competitive environment, right?
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about their marketing.
Okay.
They've been keeping their marketing spend pretty low.
Really?
Yeah, but with their 25th anniversary coming up, they're looking to increase it.
I see. Time for a marketing boost.
They've relied mostly on word of mouth and their website.
So earned and owned marketing.
But they're starting to see the potential of paid marketing, like Google Ads.
To reach a wider audience.
They even sponsored a professional verback writer in 2022.
A what?
A verback writer.
I never heard of that.
Me neither, before these documents.
What is it?
It's a poet who crafts personalized poems at events.
Oh, wow. That's unique.
Right.
What do you think their goal was with that sponsorship?
I think it shows their commitment to the community.
Supporting local artists.
Exactly, and it's a memorable way to connect with people.
Definitely outside the box thinking again.
But it also suggests they might need help with marketing strategy.
Not trying to do it all themselves.
Which is smart, knowing when to seek outside expertise.
Especially for a growing business.
Speaking of challenges, remember that tight Christmas they mentioned?
What happened?
They had a bunch of problems hit them all at once.
Like what?
Delayed payments, employee issues, truck breakdowns.
Oh, man, that's rough.
It was a real stress test for the business.
And around the holidays, too.
Yeah, not the best timing.
This also highlights the industry's reliance on retainage.
Retainage.
Yeah, in Oregon, it's 5% standard in construction.
So clients hold back a portion of the payment.
Until the project is fully complete.
Even if it's done on time and within budget.
That's right.
Wow, that could really impact cash flow.
It did for them that Christmas.
Makes you realize how important financial planning is.
Absolutely, especially in an industry with unpredictable payments.
Now, they seem comfortable with their income statements,
Okay.
but balance sheet accuracy is a bit of a headache.
What do you mean?
They admit that every time they look at it, something seems off.
Not uncommon for businesses their size.
Especially in a fast-paced industry like construction.
It's hard to keep track of everything.
But it does show the need for robust financial systems.
To ensure accurate reporting.
Exactly, like building a house on a solid foundation.
Good analogy.
So they've got work to do on that front.
For sure.
Now let's talk about their people.
Okay.
They have this employee maturity model for lead operator crew lead roles.
Interesting.
It goes beyond just technical skills.
What else are they looking for?
Behavioral competencies like a good attitude, coachability, punctuality.
Those are important too.
They want leaders who are safe, independent, and can communicate effectively.
Essential qualities for any team.
What really struck me is their emphasis on tech proficiency.
Oh, yeah. Even in construction.
It's becoming more and more important.
Because technology is changing everything.
They're looking for employees who can use mobile apps, operate GPS-guided machinery,
Wow.
read plans, understand grading, and all that.
Construction meets Silicon Valley.
Exactly.
Now let's dive into their marketing and sales strategies.
And get this, their biggest marketing challenge, they say, is cash, cash, and cash.
They said it 3 times.
3 times?
Wow, they must be serious.
They know they need marketing to grow.
But they're limited by resources.
The classic bootstrapping dilemma.
How to fuel growth with limited funds.
Tough spot to be in.
Despite that, they've put thought into their ideal customer.
They even have detailed customer personas.
Customer personas.
Fictional representations of their ideal clients.
Interesting.
Get this. These personas are married with children, value family and faith.
Okay.
They prioritize quality and experience over price.
Sounds like a specific target audience.
They also like golfing and outdoor activities.
I see. They've really thought about who they want to attract.
It's a smart move, understanding your target audience.
Helps tailor marketing messages and services.
All about that customer-centric approach.
Crucial for attracting and retaining the right clients.
And they're not just looking inward, they're also eyeing their competitors.
Both the big players and the local disruptors.
So what did their competitor analysis reveal?
Some interesting things.
Like what?
Some are specializing in erosion control.
With environmental concerns growing, that makes sense.
Gives them an edge, especially with stricter regulations.
Not just moving dirt anymore, but moving it responsibly.
Sustainability is a must-have now. They also noticed some competitors using GPS-guided equipment.
Yeah, for greater precision and efficiency.
That leads to cost savings, which clients love.
Technology changing the game again.
And some competitors are offering a wider range of services.
Becoming one-stop shops.
Exactly. Handling everything from excavation to landscaping.
Convenience is king.
Makes things easier for the client.
So where does this leave Tim Bloom Construction?
They've got ambitious growth plans.
But how do they turn aspirations into actions?
That's the key question.
They're aiming for $5 million in revenue within a year.
Wow.
$9 million in 3 years, and a whopping $50 million in 10 years.
Those are some bold targets.
Especially with those financial hurdles we discussed.
Shows their ambition and forward-thinking mindset.
They're not letting setbacks define them.
They're using them as fuel.
And they're not just choosing new locations randomly.
Oh?
They're looking at places like Boise, Idaho, and Skycomish, Washington.
Interesting choices.
But they're doing strategic analyses of market penetration opportunities by zip code.
So they're being data-driven about expansion too.
Data seems to be their guiding star.
It helps minimize risk and maximize their chances of success.
But expansion requires resources, right?
Trucks, equipment, people.
They're planning to invest in more of all of those.
A significant investment, but necessary for growth.
Shows their commitment to the future.
This next bit might sound a bit technical.
What is it?
They're transitioning from cash-based to accrual accounting.
Why is that important?
It's a big step towards more robust financial management
Especially as they grow.
and potentially seek funding.
Cash-based is simple. You record transactions when cash changes hands.
But accrual recognizes revenue and expenses when earned or incurred.
Regardless of when the cash actually flows.
Exactly.
So it's a more accurate picture of their financial position.
A sign of their commitment to building a sustainable business.
Like laying the groundwork for a skyscraper.
Instead of a single-story building,
We've talked numbers and strategy, but what about their people?
what about them?
They're not just focused on profits, they're investing in their employees.
How so?
They're aligning individual goals with business objectives using PPF goal planning,
PPF.
personal, professional, and financial goals.
Got it.
It creates a sense of shared purpose and accountability.
Employees feel valued and motivated.
And the company benefits from a more engaged workforce.
A win-win.
They're also using the R3 assessment to understand team dynamics.
R3.
It helps them understand communication styles and potential conflicts.
To build a more cohesive and productive environment.
It's like giving them a roadmap for effective communication.
Communication is key in any team.
Absolutely, especially as they grow and expand.
They're really emphasizing collaboration and open communication.
And they've highlighted some core values, too.
Like what?
Accountability, quality, integrity, intentionality, results, dedication.
Solid values to build a business on.
They're not just words on a wall, they guide their actions.
It's clear they're building a culture that values its people.
But we've only just scratched the surface.
There's so much more to uncover.
Like their internal data deep dive.
And the potential impact of their growth on the community.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive.
Can't wait. Welcome back.
As we dig deeper into Tim Bloom construction,
Yeah.
I keep thinking about those lease and personal categories in their sales data.
Oh, the mystery categories?
Nobody seemed to know what they were.
Is a bit strange.
Makes you wonder about their data accuracy.
Right. Making decisions based on unclear data is risky.
Like using a blurry map.
You could get lost.
They definitely need to figure that out.
Agreed.
But let's get back to their competitors.
Okay.
We were talking about how some are differentiating themselves.
Right. Offering a wider range of services.
The one-stop shop appeal.
Makes it easier for clients.
Wouldn't you prefer one point of contact?
Absolutely. Less hassle.
So convenience is key in this market.
Seems like it.
But what about their growth goals?
Those ambitious targets.
Do you think they're realistic?
It depends on a lot of factors.
Market conditions, their expansion strategy.
And their ability to attract those high-value clients.
They're aiming high, but growth comes with challenges.
They need to manage it carefully.
Avoid overextending themselves.
Or compromising quality.
That's where their strategic approach comes in.
Analyzing market opportunities by zip code.
Not just random expansion.
Makes sense.
Speaking of target customers, remember those personas.
The fictional ideal clients.
Do you think they'll change as they expand?
It's possible. Different markets might have different demographics.
Different needs and values.
They'll need to adapt their marketing.
Like tailoring a suit.
You need adjustments for the perfect fit.
We've talked external strategies, but what about internal operations?
Their team and leadership.
What insights did we get from the R3 assessments?
Fascinating stuff.
It revealed their communication styles.
Drivers, analyzers, influencers, stabilizers.
Each with strengths and weaknesses.
Understanding those dynamics is key.
For effective teamwork.
They're also providing communication tips tailored to each style.
Like customized playbooks.
To help them communicate better.
It's like speaking different languages.
You need a translator.
So everyone understands each other.
Exactly.
And they're promoting collaboration throughout the organization.
Reinforcing those core values.
Accountability, quality, integrity, intentionality, results, dedication.
The foundation of their culture?
It's not just about skills, it's about working together effectively.
And aligning individual goals with company objectives.
Using that PPF goal planning system.
Creates a sense of ownership.
Everyone rowing in the same direction.
Toward the common goal.
Speaking of rowing, what about their leadership development?
They're aware of areas they can improve.
Seeking more input from their team.
Articulating their decisions better.
Trusting their employees' competence.
It's refreshing to see that self-awareness.
A willingness to grow.
Not resting on their laurels.
Constantly striving to be better.
It's essential for any leader.
Especially in a dynamic industry like construction.
They're setting a good example.
Showing that learning never stops.
Now let's shift to their marketing efforts.
They need to ramp things up.
They're starting to explore paid advertising.
Google Ads to reach a wider audience.
Makes sense.
But can they handle that in-house?
They've admitted they need help with digital marketing.
SEO, website redesigns, social media.
Smart move, bringing in experts.
Avoid costly mistakes.
Their website definitely needs an overhaul.
It's pretty basic right now.
More like an online brochure.
Not very engaging.
Needs to showcase their expertise and tell their story.
Highlight what sets them apart.
And be optimized for search engines.
It's their digital storefront.
Needs to make a good first impression.
But they need to be active on social media too.
They're missing opportunities there.
To connect with potential clients.
Like a virtual networking event.
You need to be present and active.
And provide valuable content.
Be a resource, not just a salesperson.
Build trust and credibility.
Speaking of providing value, what about their sales process?
No dedicated sales team yet.
They're handling it with existing staff.
Might need a change as they grow.
Develop a more structured process.
Define steps, create scripts, track progress.
Data is crucial.
But sales can be tough, especially with competition.
How can they differentiate themselves?
They need to highlight their strengths, Quality, customer service, local expertise.
And be prepared to handle price objections.
Sell value, not just price.
Build strong relationships with clients.
People buy from people they trust.
It's about long-term relationships.
Now back to their financial planning.
The transition to accrual accounting
The smart move for growth.
provides a clearer financial picture.
But it can be complex.
They need to make sure their systems are ready.
And their team is trained.
It's not a quick fix.
But the benefits are worth it.
Better financial understanding, better decisions.
Like upgrading to better software.
They're also focused on revenue per employee,
Maximizing productivity and efficiency.
working smarter, not just harder.
But growth has its challenges.
What pitfalls might they encounter?
Maintaining their culture as they expand.
It's harder with more people and locations.
They need to be intentional about it.
Reinforce their values and vision. It's like keeping a fire burning brightly.
You need to add logs carefully
And make sure there's enough oxygen.
so the fire doesn't go out.
They're also venturing into new markets.
New regulations, new relationships.
It's uncharted territory.
But they've shown adaptability.
And a willingness to seek help.
Those are valuable qualities.
We've uncovered so much about Tim Bloom Construction.
Their operations, their challenges, their dreams.
But now let's zoom out.
Look at the bigger picture.
How will their growth impact their community?
Will it be positive or negative?
Stay tuned for part 3 as we explore those questions. So we're back, wrapping up our deep dive into Tim Bloom Construction.
It's been quite a journey.
We've seen the inner workings, the challenges, their ambitions.
Right?
But now, let's step back a bit.
Okay.
Look at the bigger picture.
The big picture.
How will their growth impact the community?
The ripple effects.
Exactly. Will they be job creators?
Or will there be unintended consequences?
That's what we need to consider.
Every business should think about that.
Especially in construction, it impacts a lot of people.
It's about being a good neighbor.
Not just about profits.
Right, but they seem to get that.
What makes you say that?
They're involved in community events, sponsorships.
Like that verback writer.
Shows they're plugged in, not just focused on business.
So if they hit those revenue goals,
Yeah,
what's the likely impact?
more jobs for sure.
Good paying jobs in construction.
That's a boost for families
Yeah.
and the local economy.
More tax revenue for the community too.
Better schools, parks, infrastructure.
But there could be downsides too, right?
Growth can bring challenges.
Traffic, strain on resources, rising costs.
Those are real concerns.
So how can they ensure their growth is a win for everyone?
By being intentional about it.
Okay.
Prioritize hiring locally.
Keep those jobs in the community.
Support local businesses whenever possible.
Keep those dollars circulating.
And actively participate in community initiatives.
Be more than just a company doing business there.
Be a part of the community's fabric.
Their success tied to the community's well-being.
Exactly. A symbiotic relationship.
So as we wrap up, what's the big takeaway?
Business success is more than just numbers.
It's about creating value for everyone involved.
Employees, customers, the community.
Businesses are part of a larger ecosystem.
Their actions have ripple effects.
In a world facing so many challenges,
Businesses have a responsibility to step up.
be part of the solution.
Couldn't agree more.
So think about the businesses in your community.
How are they contributing?
How could they do better?
What would you ask them?
That's all for this deep dive into Tim Bloom Construction.
Thanks for joining us.
We'll see you next time for another behind-the-scenes look.
Until then,